Hey, this is Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G. Such a mouthful, right? I kinda like the vibe this phone is giving, the curved display and the new Hyper OS. This phone was announced in September 2023 in China, and during that time it was rocking MIUI based on Android 13. This phone was released on February on the global markets. Many months later, this was updated to Hyper OS based on Android 14, which is a good thing. Redmi line has come a long way, and Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is a testimony of what Xiaomi has in store for us. Don't get me wrong, it's not the perfect phone due to some software limitations, but it's a good one, this one. If software updates will fix some small issues here and there, and the camera app be fine-tuned, then I will be sold. The display is a gorgeous 6.67 curved AMOLED with a whopping 1800 nits. This display is crazy bright even under direct sunlight and comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus protection. It is not shatterproof since glass is glass and glass breaks, so care must be put into considerations when handling this phone since display replacement is going to be very expensive. The Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is giving the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus vibes, but here with slimmer bezels. This phone has a whopping 89.7% screen-to-body ratio. The waterfall display or curved display makes this phone looks and feel premium and a unique gadget since not many phone manufacturers will be bold enough to pull such a phone. We have an under-display fingerprint reader which works. This is an optical fingerprint reader. It's not the fastest, but at least we have a Face ID which works fast. For the price, I wish they could have used an ultrasonic fingerprint reader for faster login into your phone. Also, you can choose between 60Hz and 120Hz refresh rate for this phone. The frame of the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is made out of plastic, which is disappointing. This plastic frame is brushed with an aluminium color which gives it a metallic finish. In front, we have a Gorilla Glass Victus glass, and at the back, depending on the RAM and ROM you are getting, they will come with a different material. For the 8GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage, you get a glass back, no official rating for the glass back. The 12GB of RAM and 512GB of ROM, you get Gorilla Glass Victus in front and silicone polymer back or eco leather at the back. The front glass and back curves at an angle which makes this phone feel a little bit comfy while holding it in your hand. This gives the impression that this phone is thin, which in reality it isn't. The power and volume rockers are at the right hand side and they feel good when pressing. At the top, we have an IR blaster for controlling your appliances. Xiaomi has been including IR blasters since long ago on their phones, which certainly is kinda cool. There is also a microphone at the top. At the bottom, we have a USB Type-C for charging your phone and a SIM slot which houses 2 SIM cards and not a microSD. Also, this phone supports an eSIM, which is kinda cool. 200 megapixels camera sounds like a ginormous lens which will be able to capture crazy looking images. But as we all know, megapixel counts doesn't necessarily mean that the lenses will capture stunning images. We have a 200 megapixels main camera which shoots underwhelming images. It is not a good camera. Sometimes images appear washed out and mostly gets off colors which might be disappointing. I can honestly say that the camera section on the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is underwhelming. We also have an 8 megapixels ultra wide camera lens and a 2 megapixels macro lens which sounds as useless as it shoots. Clearly, you could see the disparity between the camera lenses from 200 megapixels to 8 megapixels then to 2 megapixels. It could have been better if all the lenses were maybe 50 megapixels to maintain consistency. Maybe future updates will rectify and fine-tune the camera department on this phone, which I highly doubt. I feel like the camera department has always bottlenecked the potential of the Redmi phones. The video quality is also capped at 4K 30 frames per second. I would have wished for 4K at 60 frames per second, but it is what it is. We have a 16 megapixels selfie shooter, again which is not good and can only shoot videos at Full HD at 30 or 60 frames per second. The battery life of the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is really good. It can last a full day on a single charge without any problem. The 5000 milliamps of battery is charged with 120 watts charging brick, which is included in the box. Charging speeds are crazy good, and I'm happy that charging brick was included in the box on this day and age. The MediaTek Dimensity 7200 Ultra, which is a 4nm chip, is not that power hungry. And on the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G, it is able to use the battery on this phone considerably. So, here are my 2 cents regarding this phone. Using this phone many months after it was released has been a mixture of satisfaction and dissatisfaction. The camera is underwhelming, and the HyperOS, I will say it's just a rebranded MIUI. Personally, I could not tell any significant difference between MIUI and HyperOS. Maybe I was expecting more, or maybe the HyperOS is on its initial stages and more features will be included as time goes. The display and the looks of this phone are a beauty to behold. The AMOLED display is able to achieve good colors and deeper blacks. When consuming content, you will highly appreciate the display, and when you step outside, you won't struggle to use your phone because of the 1800 nits peak brightness that this display is able to emit. The Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G is a good phone. If you are not a camera-centric person, that is, and you prefer the looks to performance. It's not a slow phone, but the OS looks unpolished and it's not as smooth as I would have imagined. If you can overlook on the camera department and you want to give a go on this phone and wait for software updates to fix these issues, then go for it. As for me, I wasn't fully sold on this one, since software updates on the Redmi phones have always been inconsistent, and it will be likely that this phone might not get any major software update. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on the comment section about the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified each and every time that a new video goes live. So guys, until next time, stay safe.